I'm Paul.
And I'm Blake.
And this is the Church Podcast, episode 7, breaking down reason number 4 why you should run from your pastor. Reason number 4 is dating is highly regulated if allowed at all. So, we kind of touched on this in episode 5, but this is kind of a reason all on its own. Anyway, so there were many attempted relationships. These relationships were potentially very great relationships. People were attracted to each other. Who knew? And they wanted to date.
What a concept! Who'd have thought?
A guy and a girl want to talk to each other, touch, and kiss.
Oh my god!
I love doing that. It's so funny.
I think one of the greatest examples of this is us.
Yes. Oh, wow. So, case in point.
Yeah.
This between Peach and Blake. Yeah. We tried to date. The moment I saw you, I was like, she's the one. She's beautiful. She's so cool. She's a hipster. Like, she's artistic and creative. I didn't even know you, but I could tell, you know, and I feel like when I saw you, there was definitely like an energy.
Sparks were flying all up the wall.
Yeah, and I tried so hard not to even look at you because I had to look really cool, and so you couldn't know that I was like, couldn't barely focus on what I was doing because I wanted you.
And it worked because I thought you didn't like me.
Yeah, it worked, damn it. So maybe I regulated myself. No, I was highly attracted to you. Thought you were super cool, you know, close to my age. I mean, all the things were there. We're just clicking. Like, you know, all the biomarkers are in line. And so I was like, this is great. I talked to my leader because that's the last step, right? You got to get approved.
Yeah.
And so I went to my leader, told him what was going on, and he was like, wow, yeah, oh, cool, yeah, well, let me talk to my wife because she's been meeting with Blake, and we'll pray about it, and I'll get back to you. I was like, okay, cool. And he says to me, like 2 weeks later, we're talking, and he says, you should probably forget about the Blake thing. And I was like, why? And he says, well, she's probably going to be with Buddy. And I'm like, okay. But you weren't. And I was pretty sure that you liked me. Like, we would send each other love songs on Spotify.
Yeah.
And don't you think this song is so cool?
That was way back in the day when you could message each other on Spotify.
You can't do that anymore?
No, you can't.
You know, before things would have even been wrong. I tried to do it the right way, but because dating is highly regulated, if allowed at all, at a church where you should run from your pastor, that didn't happen because homeboy here had too much baggage that I was dealing with.
I was told that somebody else was better for me.
Yeah.
And you had things to work out. You were just getting out of a relationship that you'd been in for a long time.
Which was true.
And I'm thinking, okay, she must be telling me this because he doesn't like me.
So nothing happened. In my head, that was the right way because that's what I had been groomed to behave like in that church. It's unfortunate because I didn't think for myself, and I ignored something that was very strong and real and natural and normal. Not to say that we're not responsible for what we did, but when you micromanage people and make them, do things that you want them to do instead of letting them decide, shit happens.
Yeah.
It's like traumatizing. in our circumstance, like, it just got to the point where we discovered that had even happened. We didn't know for years that the other was being, directed by their leader to not date. Mm-hmm. And so when that came out, it was like, that sucks. You're telling me that you felt the same way?
Yeah.
Like, what? Talk about, like, living a lie.
When I found out that you had liked me all those years ago, I feel like that's the moment when I completely didn't trust any leadership at that church anymore, ever.
There's so many other situations where this error in culture just ran rampant. Mm-hmm. And a couple of friends of ours, fairly new to the church, we'd been there for a while, they were up-and-coming leaders, and, it's funny that everyone came into the church, most of them wanted to date right away.
Yeah.
It's like you just found this harvest of healthy people. Beautiful, healthy, happy people. Why wouldn't you want to date one of them? In one instance, two of these people were attracted to each other. They were leading. They were doing all the right things. And they developed a relationship because they were in the same department. They had things in common. And whether it was a good idea for them to be together or not doesn't matter. They were told to break up. They were told to stop and just wonder what could have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, their relationship started having so much tension and so much turmoil and aggression and all this stuff. And
their working relationship did after this.
Right. Their relationship in their department became extremely strained. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's because of that, them being micromanaged and not being able to just, like, process out that relationship for themselves. They just ended it because they were told to.
Yeah.
And, who knows? Maybe it was like blue balls. They had all this sexual tension and never got to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So that causes pain.
Physical pain.
Yeah. That's one example. Another example of me in a different relationship.
After he was told he couldn't be with the one he really wanted to be with.
Right. I was pretty much attacked for dating a girl in my class. I was going to cosmetology school.
She didn't go to our church, though.
She wasn't a church member. What's wrong with you? Anyway, somehow our leader comrades found out that I was talking with this girl, and lo and behold, meeting with pastor and one of my buddies, and it was like, let's get coffee. I just want to check in with you, see how you're doing. Almost the first thing that came out of her mouth was, so you like anybody? And it was like, well, now that you mention it,
bring it on.
Yeah, might as well just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
Yes, I like someone at school. When things became serious, she asked this girl to go have coffee. And I'm thinking, cool, maybe she's going to be nice and welcome her into our family and help me in like a productive way and be there for us and support us, And, obviously I'm highly involved with this place. I'm there all the time. I'm doing things all the time. Of course, I would like them all to get along with her. And what she did was take her to coffee and brought my ex-girlfriend and said, I just want to expose the elephant in the room. This is PJ's ex, and she also goes to church with us. And this girl handled it so well.
Yeah, she did.
Also had a friend from cosmetology school there with her. What an opportunity to, reach out to some people and if you're so concerned with loving people, what a
Yeah.
chance to love some people
Yeah.
right now. And you just made us all look like fools. Anyway,
So awkward.
very awkward. And that was probably the beginning of the end of that relationship because it lasted 1 month. One more example, which we kind of touched on in episode 5, is of our friends that came to the church dating. They were instructed to stop dating if they wanted to go to their next level in leadership, if they wanted to grow spiritually. They couldn't be living together unmarried, of course. So break up.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason they regulate it so much is because if somebody's getting involved in giving them free labor, of course they don't want them getting distracted with this other thing that could take their time up. That's what I feel like it comes down to. It's just selfish. It's like, no, we need this guy to have his time free. We need this girl to focus on what she's like getting involved with at church. They can't worry about that. And plus, they're not married, so we're going to be protecting them from sin. We're doing them a favor by micromanaging the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
So they lived together, but they listened. They submitted to their leadership and broke up, moved out. You know, whether or not that was the best idea for their relationship or not doesn't matter. It's no church leader's job to tell you what to do. That is a decision that you can help them with, but you
Right.
should never say, you're not going to reach your next level unless you do this.
Right.
And so they did that. And come to find out, a couple years later, attraction was still hot,
Yep.
you know?
Now they're together.
And they're still together.
I know.
So-
They are going strong.
Yeah, just like us.
Yeah.
So dating is highly regulated, if allowed at all, in a church where you should run from your pastor. This has been episode 7. If you liked this episode, hit the thumbs up button, please. Subscribe. Follow us on all the social media listed in the description. If this pissed you off, hit the thumbs down and tell us why.